We've got the elite Gurkha infantries, okay, they're Gurkha rifle battalions. We've got the Gurkha engineers, the Gurkha signallers, Gurkha logistics, but never had Gurkha artillery. Check out this video, and don't forget to check out the original video description. Let's get into it.
It's half a century since the L118 light gun came into service in the British Army.
Half a century, but still one of the best artillery pieces out there when manned with an absolute brilliant crew. I left the army a few years ago after serving in the Royal Artillery and the Household Cavalry Regiment. Worked very closely with the light gun while serving as an award observer in 7th Parachute Regiment Royal Horse Artillery, 7 Power RHA, 7 RHA to some of you. Absolutely brilliant piece of kit, whether that's in an indirect role or a direct role. When it's with a really good crew, they can get in and out of action quickly, and you can really do some damage with a good fire for effect with a good 3 to 6 gun battery. Absolutely love the light gun.
And soon it will be fired by full Gurkha detachments. But for this to happen, the first members of the King's Gurkha Artillery must learn how to be gunners.
This is absolutely brilliant news. You've got Gurkha, obviously rifles, the infantry guys. You've got Gurkha engineers, Gurkha signallers, Gurkha logistics. But while my time in serving before that, you never had Gurkha artillery. So this is really good to see some elite fighting soldiers coming across to the mighty artillery.
In the first week, it's quite hard and quite overwhelming when you see that big guns and it has a lot of parts, so it's quite overwhelming.
Everything, like about this gun, everything was new, so we have to remember the drills, all the parts of the gun and how it works. We have to remember everything to be perfect.
Obviously, this is really hard for these guys because they're coming across and they're learning everything from scratch. That's from the youngest guy who is now called a gunner, who used to maybe be a private sapper, signaller, now a gunner, up to the sergeant and higher. So the younger guys, they've got to just do the most basic courses, but the commanders of these guns are going to have to do their level 1s, level 2s, level 3s. They've got to learn the ins and outs of it. They've got to learn how to command it, use it, fix it when it goes down. And that comes with experience as well. So it's a steep learning curve for these guys.
Become a gunner, Surya?
It's a very good question. In fact, I've been in infantry for the last 19 years, but I always been excited when we have got attached the artillery elements, and I never got that opportunity to work in the gun line, and I always have in my mind that how this gun really operates.
Right, fair play to him, coming across after 19 years as an infantryman to then transferring and training that late in your career. Fair play.
This is what it actually does.
We've been teaching them almost everything there is relevant to the gun. So positions on the guns, roles and responsibilities, ammunition natures, how to carry out a fire mission, how to carry out a direct fire mission, which is slightly lower at elevation, also how to maintain it, and then how to use it eventually out in the field.
What's the system that takes the oil?
Recuperator buffer, which is known as the...
Not the ordnance.
Oh no, it's a very simple.
Such a plus. It begins with R and rhymes with peak oil.
Request system.
How do you maintain a gun?
You've learned today how to top up all the relevant oils and the different systems that we use, how to grease all the different areas to grease on the gun, or different grease nipples. We've also covered how to pull the gun through, how to clean the barrel, how to clean the breech, and all the firing parts necessary to carry on with the fire missions.
All right, that's essential as well. Keeping the gun clean and ready to operate at any time is essential. Can you imagine being back in Afghanistan or Iraq, okay, with all that sand, that dust being blown around? You've got to make sure it's well oiled, it's clean consistently. One, so you can actually use it and it works correctly, but also you can actually get the ammunition firing and hopefully hitting a first or second round hit, depending on how good the grid is. But keeping it clean is just important. That's just one part of it. They then got to learn how to maneuver around with it, get it into action, fire, that ammunition. There's so much for these guys to learn.
For a systematic way, starting from the back and working your way front, using certain acronyms, you can work your way through maintenance quite easily.
Okay, can you give me an example of one of those acronyms?
We go with GOAT, grease, oil, air, and then to service.
What stops us firing above 1244 is the taboo gear. So,
Good old army commando there, look at that, 2-9.
Just sponges for information, they absorb everything you tell them, and they're always really keen to jump in and get involved and get hands-on.
They seem like they're having a good time.
They're having a great time, yeah.
Gurkhas are, whenever I've worked with the Gurkhas, whether that's as an instructor at Purbright, out on tour when they were relieving us, on exercise, they were always keen to get involved, very motivated, and always wanted to do the absolute best. So there's not surprised to hear that that's happening with this new King's Gurkha artillery.
The first members of the King's Gurkha artillery have been streamed to specific roles. These are the strike operators who will load and lay or point the gun and fire it. Across the parade square, we find the new fire support team in training. Their job is to find the target in the first place and call in the fire.
What they're doing.
That's what I mean. This is the job I used to do. I was a fire support team, worked within the FSTs, okay, as a forward observer. Once again, these guys need to have a basic understanding of the guns and all the other different weapon systems they're going to use. Used to be the AS-90, but you've got the Archer, because there's a chance they may be firing that. Understanding the mortars, fast air, attack helicopters, okay, while trying to be an absolute brilliant navigator to get yourself from point A to point B, and then when you get to point B to actually find the target and try and get a first round hit or as close to that target as possible, so you can do as little corrections as possible to hopefully destroy or neutralize that target as soon as possible. So you've got guys having to learn the gun from the basics, you've got guys having to now learn how to be fire support teams, and then you're going to have command posts and other roles within this. This is a massive operation and a massive learning curve for a lot of people to bring in a whole new artillery regiment or unit.
Is an immediate neutralisation, which means it's a basic fire mission where they call in artillery fire from a gun battery, so 6 guns. These guys as observers will be the ones physically seeing the enemy, plotting the grid, sending that back to the gun line, and then getting an artillery fire mission onto it.
One times armor vehicle destroyed.
One of the most important things is the VP. VP is just your voice procedure, and it's simply because we in the artillery, every time we speak on the net to that gun line, every single thing that we say is an order, which means that your VP has to be really, really on the money. For these soldiers.
So basically it needs to be clear, you need a bit of rhythm to it, you need to be able to understand it, obviously with a little bit of pauses, okay? You need to make sure that it sounds as if an order, but you want to make sure that they get it and write it down correctly first time, so there's no delay in the fire mission. It actually is a bit of an art, and it takes a little bit of practice to get your voice procedure really, really good, so that the operator on the other end can write down the fire mission as quickly as possible, can understand it as best as possible, and you're telling them what you need and what you're doing.
English is their second language, so it's there's another level of difficulty, and we in the artillery are really strict on the way we speak on the net, because anything that's misinterpreted could end up being the wrong message later on down the line, which could be quite fatal.
It's extremely rigid, okay? And when I transferred over to the Household Cavalry and you went and worked with different units, you worked with the infantry, so per se, when you was in the artillery, their voice procedure, the way they talk on the net is completely different to how the artillery, because it can't be misinterpreted, it can't be incorrect, because you do not want to be dropping a 155, a 105, or a mortar on friendly forces, okay, or on civilian personnel. So it's vitally important that it gets across correctly. So for this, English being their second language, it's really hard because everything's said in a certain way and a message is ended in a certain way, so the operator on the other end knows exactly what's happening next, okay? It's extremely rigid, and for these guys, I think that will most probably be the hardest part for them, is understanding voice procedure and getting it across so all units are working on and singing off the same song sheet.
It is without doubt a steep learning curve for the new gunners. In just a few weeks' time, they'll be calling in the fire and taking aim for real in their first Royal Artillery exercise.
2-0, end of mission, 1 times armor vehicle
DCCT.
Anna King, BFBS Forces News in Salisbury.
This is good. I like this. Absolutely buzzing to see this. I did not know anything about this before this video come out, being ex-artilleryman myself, working with the FSTs, working with loads of different artillery units. I did not know there was a new King's Gurkha artillery unit being formed and they were going through training. And it's really good to see, like I said, You've obviously got the Gurkha rifle battalions, you've got the engineers, you've got the logistics, you've got the signallers, etc. But you've never had artillery. So it's good to see this happening. It's going to be great to see how this is actually used in the future on the battle space. So I'm definitely going to have to stay up to date with this and how they're going to be used alongside the Gurkha units and other units and the division and brigade battle groups that they're going to be part of. Thanks for watching. Hopefully you enjoyed this. Don't forget to subscribe, check out the original video in the subscription, and I'll see you soon.